Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Well, hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Wednesday to you, wherever you're joining me from. I guess it's, Wednesday wisdom, Wednesday motivation, all that good stuff. Today, actually earlier today, usually on Wednesdays, we have our big global tweet chat. We actually postponed today because one of our panelists, one of our friends, actually had a family emergency. So that got moved, but I still went ahead with our Twitter Spaces event today. Earlier today, it was about 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 here on the West Coast. And we had a really in-depth discussion about grit and growth, growth and grit and what it takes to level up during times of challenge. We had a lot of participants from across the globe. In fact, my friend Anzi joined us all the way from the other side of the pond. And we had a lot of members join us, here all over. In fact, we had Carla Jenkins who joined us. We had Robin Stevens and several others who led the discussion on defining this topic, because it was actually inspired because yesterday on our live stream, as you know, we had Mark Schaefer on, and he talked about the importance of having grit. And so we asked questions such as, for example, do you believe that, an accidental success, or do you believe in overnight success? We had a very in-depth discussion about that, and people had a lot of opinions. But I wanted to make sure to put this on your radar, because we'll be doing this again on Friday. We'll be hosting Twitter Spaces on Twitter at 3:30 Pacific, which will be 6:30 Eastern in the evening on Twitter. So all you need to do is join us on Twitter's app on your phone. If you haven't been on Spaces before, here's my suggestion to you. Number one, I would recommend you updating your app on the App Store. And then number two, and this is really important. Number two, what you want to do is log out of your Twitter app and log back into your Twitter app. In fact, the first few times I tried to get on Twitter Spaces, it kept kicking me out. And I looked all over social media and nobody could tell me why that was happening. So literally that's what I did. We updated the app, logged in, logged out, and then logged in. And then it seemed to fix everything. And it's been pretty smooth sailing since. But I will say, because Twitter Spaces is a new sort of social audio platform that's built on Twitter, because it's still in beta, it's still kind of glitchy. You're going to experience some issues now and then. Don't stress, just be patient and continue to work through it. In fact, today it took us about 4 times to finally get the Spaces room all up and running. But once that's when the magic happens. When people come in, they join, they have conversations. It's a really fun experience. If you haven't done this before, I highly recommend that you join me on my Twitter Spaces on Friday. The best way to know that this is happening is simply follow me on Twitter at Winnie Sun, and you'll see near my name, it's kind of like the YouTube subscribe button, but there's a little bell that you can click on that tells you when I go live, and it also tells you when I'm tweeting too. So that'll be really helpful for notifications. Okay. So if you haven't done that yet, definitely take a look at it. That's going to be a great way to do. Plus, when you join Twitter Spaces, what I found is you really can build community this way. You get to know a lot of people who perhaps you've seen on social media but weren't able to have a conversation with. And that's the sort of things, that's what's exciting about this new platform. So I'm excited to see what you think about it. Now let's let you know how the market closed today, because today the Dow closed up 54 points. The NASDAQ, unfortunately, down 138 points. But if you remember, the NASDAQ was up over 100 points yesterday, and the S&P 500 was down 16. Now, today on CNBC, you may have seen a report shared some positive news, in fact, that an increasing number of middle-income Americans have built up savings of 6 or more months worth of expenses, which means that a lot of what they describe as income Americans have completely fulfilled their emergency fund savings. So what is middle income? Like, how are they defining this? Well, Morning Consult, John Lear, he's the one who actually created this analysis, defines these as consumers between the income levels of 50 to 100,000. In addition, the study also showed for those in the higher income ranges, where he's defining as 100,000 or more, that the savings gap between middle income and high income is actually at its lowest level since Morning Consult began tracking this information. And I thought that was really interesting because, now we have 3 stimulus checks that have come to many Americans, and that seem to have helped with that emergency savings. So let me ask you this. Are consumers coiled and ready to go? Like, are they ready to get hidden? They want to go shopping. Maybe they're looking to go to Las Vegas. I don't know. But according to Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, he shared this today. He thinks that consumers are absolutely coiled and ready to go. Like, when I think of that, I'm thinking like someone with a credit card ready to go out, go shopping, go vacation, all that good stuff. Because thanks to the recent government stimulus packages, many more Americans have savings that we just heard about and more of it. So Jamie Dimon added that one of the benefits that he's seen, at least in his banks, is that consumers are paying down credit card debt or paying a little extra towards their mortgages because they aren't spending as much. So I'm curious if you're included in this, and if so, what are you looking forward to spending at post-pandemic? I see many of you joining us. I see, Joshua and CrossX Fighter at YouTube. Thank you so much for your kind comments as always. I will tell you, I can completely agree with this. Obviously we talk to a lot of clients each and every day, and by and large, we definitely are seeing not only an uptick in savings, but we're seeing an uptick in interest in doing financial planning, retirement planning, saving for your child's education. Like, people are like excited, not just excited, but I think they're motivated to get more financial literate and get more savvy as it plans to playing for those important financial goals in the future, because your savings accounts are looking healthier than they have in a very long time. So that's exciting. I, for one, can't wait to have a beautiful meal surrounded by my extended family at a wonderful restaurant. That's probably where I'm most excited to be spending money in the future. And of course, maybe a trip or two to Hawaii with my kids and husband. That would be pretty awesome too. Now, on Vaccine Watch, there's more news here. Moderna shared this week that they have hopes of being able to deliver a COVID booster shot that'll be available for Americans by this fall, they say, according to company CEO Stéphane Bancel, I believe. He also added that eventually Moderna is hoping to provide Americans actually with a 2-in-1 vaccine of sorts that'll help protect us from both the seasonal flu and COVID. So it looks like something that we're going to have to, I guess, look forward to each and every year, another vaccine shot. But if they can combine it into one, I'm sure many of us would appreciate that. And as the White House continues to encourage Americans to get vaccinated, they're going to have to, they're thinking about where people are most vaccine hesitant and where their audience is. And so, interesting enough, I'd love to see if you agree or disagree with the White House. They're investing heavily in marketing campaigns with NASCAR, Country Music TV, and Deadliest Catch, amongst others. I thought that was really interesting that these particular shows or platforms or experiences like NASCAR are where they're finding most Americans who are hesitant to getting their vaccines against COVID. So I don't know. Another day in financial markets, another day in business news. But as always, there's always more information. I'm going to bring you even more tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching, supporting our program. Please take a moment to share this with someone that you care about. And as a reminder, you can find full episodes of Level Up with Winnie Sun on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, and Roku. So be well. Can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Take care now.